For regular videos on ancient cultures and forgotten civilizations, please subscribe. The year has come to a close, and now it's time to look back on it. So we're going to consider the greatest archaeological discoveries of 2021. Mind you, this is my list, so it will most certainly be from my perspective. Kaylee from History with Kaylee, she's got a list as well. Top 5, I think, and it's very different from mine. After watching this, go check it out and see what she thinks. If I recall, her list contains only one discovery that I have on my list, so there's hardly any overlap. This list includes objects found from ancient times only. So there's nothing medieval here or prehistoric. So if you were looking for footprints in the Americas, you won't find them here. I'm staying in my wheelhouse, and it helps narrow things down a bit. Some of the discoveries on my list, I think about 3 concern things found before 2021. But it's in 2021 that a realization came as to what was actually found. Does that count as an archaeological discovery? I think if it involves the work that archaeologists do after something is dug up, it does. It's a discovery, right? Archaeological discoveries are important for the study of ancient history because with each discovery, ancient history is revised. Our understanding of the past changes. Sometimes a little, sometimes a lot. But they are always informative and transformative. So now, I'm going to count down the 20 greatest archaeological discoveries of 2021. Number 20. The Roman coin hoard found in Germany. More than 5,500 silver coins buried by a river about 1,800 years ago were discovered in Augsburg, Germany. These coins are denarii, that's the standard silver denomination during the 1st to early 3rd century CE. The youngest coin of the hoard was minted at the beginning of the 3rd century, thus dating the deposition of the hoard in the early 3rd century. We don't yet know why the hoard was deposited there. Number 19, Chinese bronze mirrors. Yes, archaeologists conducting excavations at a cemetery in northwest China have found more than 80, roughly 2,000-year-old bronze mirrors. The ancient Chinese used to cast the mirrors using a variety of methods. They range in diameter from 3 to 9 inches. Many of the artifacts are very well preserved. One of them is still able to reflect images fairly clearly. The tombs belong to the elites of that society. Most of the mirrors were buried close to the head or upper body of the owners, who included both men and women. The accessories held inscriptions conveying wishes for a better life. Most of the mirrors date to between the Warring States period of 475 to 221 BCE and the late Western Han Dynasty, which ended around 9 CE. These mirrors are great references for archaeologists to further study the material culture of the early and middle periods of the Western Han Dynasty. There are also excellent examples of the aesthetic taste of the ancient Chinese, and they possess both historical and artistic value. Number 18. A Gupta Temple was found in India. Yes, the Archaeological Survey of India found the remains of an ancient temple in a village called Bilsar in Uttar Pradesh. A staircase of the temple has Shankalipi inscriptions. Shankalipi is an ornate stylized script, often used to write names. And they say Sri Mahendraditya on them, which is the name of the Gupta emperor Kumaragupta I, who reigned in the 5th century CE. This is only the 3rd temple ever found in India for the Gupta period. Number 17, an ancient shipwreck near Sicily. Yes, a Roman vessel dating back to the 2nd century BCE has been discovered in the Mediterranean Sea off the coast of Palermo. The ship is about 92 meters long, that's about 302 feet, and was very deep in the ocean. And from the first images taken by a submarine robot, we can see that it was carrying a very copious cargo of wine amphorae. The findings are going to shed light on Rome's trade activity in the Mediterranean, where the Romans traded spices and wine and olives and other products in Spain, North Africa, France, and the Middle East. Number 16, a Mesopotamian war memorial. Yes, this one is at Tel Banat North in northern Iraq. It's known as the White Monument. And it is the third and final construction phase of that monument that we're talking about, dating to between 2450 and 2300 BCE. The original appearance would have resembled a step pyramid. Kunga, which are a kind of equid, a sort of donkey, were mainly used for pulling vehicles in those days, and we have these bones of this animal in there buried with the people. Also found in there was a model of a covered wagon and a wheel, all made of clay. It seems that these remains indicate not that the people were elites or something like that, but this is their profession. And we know that this type of animal is associated with warfare from this period because we see these in images like on the standard of Ur, where these donkey-like creatures are pulling war wagons, sometimes called battle cars. Now we know burial mounds full of enemy corpses are a well-known symbol of punishment and victory in Mesopotamian inscriptions, but this is not a bunch of enemies in a pile. These are very carefully arranged burials, and that seems to indicate that we're talking about a commemoration. Well, they could be victorious or defeated warriors, but they're their own warriors. The people who buried them there were commemorating their dead, and that's why we call it a war memorial. Number 15, the Jerubbaal Inscription. What's that? For the first time, an inscription from the pre-monarchic period of ancient Israel. This would be the time that the book of Judges covers. It's been recovered from excavations at Kirbat Uri. This rare inscription bears the name Jerubbaal in alphabetic script, and it dates to around 1100 BCE. It was written in ink on a pottery vessel, and it was found inside a storage pit that was dug into the ground and lined with stones. The jug was just a small personal pottery vessel that holds approximately 1 liter, and it may well have contained a liquid like oil or perfume or medicine. Much like today, the vessel's owner wrote his name on it to assert his ownership. Now here's the thing, the name Jerubbaal is familiar from biblical tradition in the book of Judges because it is an alternative name for the judge Gideon. Now that doesn't mean that this is Gideon's pot, because the name Jerubbaal was probably a fairly common name, so there could have been lots of people who were called that. Number 14, a Roman boundary stone was discovered by archaeologists. Yes, this is in the city of Rome. This boundary stone delineates the city limits of the ancient city of Rome, and this dates to the age of the Emperor Claudius in 49 CE. It was found during excavations for a new sewage system under the mausoleum of the Emperor Augustus. It's what we call a pomerium, a huge slab of travertine that was used as a sacred and military political perimeter, making the edge of the city, the proper city of Rome, clear. Only 10 other stones of this kind have been found in Rome, and the last one was over 100 years ago. Number 13, the basalt blocks of Nectanebo. Yes, an Egyptian-German mission has uncovered a collection of decorated blocks and fragments from the king Nectanebo I. It's a temple that he built at the Mataria archaeological site in ancient Heliopolis. The blocks and fragments are made of basalt, and they belong to the western and northern facade of the temple. The inscriptions mention the regnal years 13 and 14 of Nectanebo, which would be 366 to 365 BCE. There are some earlier constructions from the Ramesside period also evident at the site. Number 12, a gladiator arena in Turkey. Yes, archaeologists have uncovered a Roman arena that was a lot like Rome's Colosseum, and it would have hosted gladiator fights for about 20,000 spectators. The find, which is a first for the country, was revealed as part of the excavations at Mostara, an ancient city in the Aydin province. The researchers believe that the building dates back to about 200 CE during the reign of the Severan dynasty in the Roman Empire. Most of the amphitheater is under the ground, and the sections that are under the ground are very well preserved. They say it's as solid as if it were built yesterday. Number 11, a new inscription from the Babylonian king Nabonidus. Archaeologists have discovered a fascinating rock inscription in the Hail region of northern Saudi Arabia that depicts the Babylonian king Nabonidus. He reigned in the 6th century BCE. The king, by the way, had a home in Taima, which is in Saudi Arabia. That's why this is there. The cuneiform text is 26 lines long, which makes it the longest inscription ever found in Saudi Arabia. Number 10, an embassy complex in Tikal. Recent investigation of an area of the Maya city of Tikal in northern Guatemala has uncovered a complex that resembles the citadel at Teotihuacan, which is like 600 miles away from there. Ceramics found within the pyramid have been dated to around 300 CE. Before Teotihuacan is thought to have invaded Tikal. That was in 378, so this is like 78 years at least earlier, which means they have an embassy there before they ended up conquering the city. They are playing the long game. Number 9. A gate of Cyrus the Great has been found at Persepolis. There was a joint mission by Iranian and Italian archaeologists that uncovered the remains of a massive gate at the site of ancient Persepolis in Iran. Written documents as well as carbon dating and the motifs that appear on the structure indicate the gate was commissioned by Cyrus the Great himself and put into operation by his son Cambyses. Pretty cool discovery there. Number 8, the tomb of an Egyptian treasurer. An archaeological mission from Cairo University uncovered the tomb of Ta-Mwiya, head of the treasury, during the reign of Ramses the Great. During excavation work at Saqqara, at the necropolis there, he was the royal scribe, the head of the treasury, the supervisor of cattle, and he was responsible for sacrifices to the gods at the Ramses Temple in Thebes. The remains of art and writing have been found there, so this will definitely add to our knowledge of the administration of Ramses the Great. Number 7, a Buddhist temple in Pakistan. The oldest apsidal Buddhist temple found in Swat, Pakistan. Apsidal means it had an apse, a semicircular recess. It dates to the Mauryan period. That's the 3rd century BCE. This new discovery is revolutionary because it demonstrates the presence of Buddhists since the 3rd century BCE in Swat. A remodel in the 2nd century BCE confirms that the Indo-Greek ruler Menander and his successors supported Buddhism. Number 6, the oldest coin mint. This is in the central plains of China at the site of Guangzhou. This city was established in 800 BCE. It was abandoned around 450 BCE, but ceramics, burials, and historical records suggest that the site was a regional center of the Zheng state. Now, the site was excavated between 2015 and 2019, but it's only been in this year that we've been able to find out about this oldest mint. You see, the earliest coins are thought to have been minted in basically 3 places: in China, in Lydia, which is in Western Asia Minor, and in India. Of these, the hollow handle spade coin, minted in China, is a likely candidate for the first metal coinage. Now, although studies have dated Lydian electrum coins to around 630 to 600 BCE, the earliest related archaeological site is a refinery that was probably used for refining gold to cast electrum. That dates to between 575 and 550 BCE. This is in Lydia at Sardis. But systematic AMS radiocarbon dating of secure context suggests that coinage production at Guangzhou began around 640 to 550 BCE. So, this site is currently the world's oldest known securely dated archaeological minting site. Number 5, an early alphabetic inscription. Now, the earliest alphabetic writing so far has been found in the Sinai Peninsula. The date is disputed, but it was somewhere between the 18th and 15th centuries BCE. But there are questions about when alphabetic writing reached the southern Levant. This alphabetic writing was found in 2018 during an excavation at Tel Achish. It dates to the first half of the 15th century BCE. This is now the earliest securely dated example of alphabetic writing in the southern Levant. There is an object called the Lachish dagger that is a little bit earlier, Middle Bronze Age, but there hasn't been certainty that it contains alphabetic writing. This definitely adds weight to the conclusion that alphabetic writing reached this area by the 15th century BCE. Okay, we are down to number 4, the Apries Stela. A farmer in northeastern Egypt stumbled across a sandstone object in the ground. It's a stela belonging to the 26th dynasty pharaoh Haebre, better known by his Greek name Apries, or the biblical name Hofra. He reigned between 589 and 570 BCE. There are 15 lines of hieroglyphs on the stela. This is going to add to our knowledge and our understanding of his reign. It's probably been translated already, but no publication has appeared just yet, as I can find, so I'll be waiting with bated breath to find out what it says. Number 3. Bronze Age graves at Stonehenge. Yes, these were found when workers began preliminary work for a controversial road tunnel through the area. It includes burials from the Bell Beaker culture. This is 2500 to 1700 BCE. Excavations have been ordered for these remains, and they will last approximately 18 months and will involve up to 150 archaeologists. And these remains will shed considerable light on the people who lived around Stonehenge thousands of years ago. Number 2, Mesoamerica Lidar. Yes, archaeologists created 3D maps, this is LiDAR, this is aerial scanning technology, of more than 30,000 square miles of pre-colonial settlements in Mexico, revealing never-before-seen details of how sites were designed and their connections to the ancient Mesoamerican calendar. They reported the identification of 478 formal rectangular and square complexes, probably dating from 1050 to 400 BCE, through LiDAR. This survey was across the entire Olmec region and the western Maya lowlands. Most of these sites were not known before. And now we get to number 1, the Golden City. Yes, known as Penjehen Aten, the Dazzling Aten. This was a city founded by Amenhotep III in the 14th century BCE. We have inscriptions that speak of the city, but no one, until now, has been able to find it. A whole city, can you imagine? This was discovered when archaeologists were looking for a funerary temple of Tutankhamun. This is believed to be one of ancient Egypt's largest cities. And because it was occupied only a short time, it will likely be in an excellent state of preservation. So I can't wait to see what they find there. So there is my list of the 20 greatest archaeological discoveries of the year. If you know of an important one that I have unfairly left out, please let me know in the comments below. If you got something out of this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to help out the channel further, you can become a patron for as little as $2 per month at patreon.com/World of Antiquity. You might like my little e-booklet, Why Ancient History Matters. It's designed to persuade people that the subject is important, even in the modern world. You might also wish to use it to help spread the word. So feel free to share it with someone you know. It's free for anyone who wants it. I've left a link in the description box below the video for you to grab a copy. Catch you later.